Hello and welcome to another episode of I Am Not Sure I Trust a Programmer with KSP Rp-1. So as you can see, we're in the launch pad for another attempt at getting a Hemodr satellite into orbit. I think this will be my last time recording an attempt. If it fails, I probably won't show. I don't know, I'll see about it later. Hopefully it will work. So I have already set up the guidance. And let's just launch. I apologize that it's again dark. I tried to warp to like sunrise, but fell a little bit short, and yeah, it will look nice, I'm sure. Okay, guidance is set. I think I'm starting to regret going for the Radarnik engines because of the fact that the verniers are a separate engine, and it increases a lot the particle count for the plume effects. So maybe down the line, once the program is less strapped for cache, I'll get the other ones, because for some reason unlocking this RD107 did not unlock the ones from the other mods, which was usually what happened with RP1. Whenever you unlocked an engine and you had that same engine in other mods, it would unlock all of them, and that way you had your choice of which textures you liked more. So anyway, before cutting out, so I was looking through my program that last episode I was having trouble with, and I think it's time to just write a new one that is because that one, basically the whole purpose was calculating like the ascent profile to have a certain apogee, because I wrote it for the previous rocket, the GIS card, that was kind of explorer style, that it would just the first control stage would just chuck everything else high up into space, and then the next part would be uncontrolled and just aim them at the horizon. Now I have upper stages that have control, so I think I can do a new launch script that is not quite so complicated as far as which altitude it will end up after the first stage, but it can compensate controlling the second stage. So I'll probably start doing that. But yeah, again, this rocket causes a lot of lag, so I'll come back once something interesting happens. So actually, while this rocket keeps on going, I'm just going to talk a little bit about the program, because I seem to be quite stuck with the actual science. Like I've said earlier, the only experiments that I have yet to do are ones that need to be returned, so I need heat shields and such. One of them is the film camera, which at least in previous versions I think it was still biome dependent. But anyway, my plan was, since I think after this there's a contract for returning back an object from orbit or from orbital velocities, so I thought of putting a rocket with a film camera and a heat shield in a polar orbit and putting one of the cores that can hold science, so that I could take pretty much every biome and just return it in one launch. But apparently now those cores are much farther along the tech tree. So even doing that, I would just be able to get one biome. There's another experiment, I think the mass spectrometer, that needs to be returned. So yeah, even with that one, I won't be able to get that much science out of everything. And as you can see, it's already 1958, so I'm going quite slow with science. I need to step it up. But yeah, I was just thinking about that and thought I would share it with you. And this is still taking a while to get to Miko, so again, I'll come back when it happens. Okay, so no failures in the first stage. It did put us quite high, so maybe it was a mistake going. Well, let's see if it has enough juice to get us into orbit. Periapsis needs to be above 300 kilometers, I believe. Yep. But yeah, now it's coasting. It will fire in about 4.5 minutes, I think. It fires at around 1 minute, maybe a little bit more, to apogee, so I'll come back when that's about to happen. And again, it's doing a very, very slow cartwheel. But hopefully that won't be too much of a problem. Okay, so hopefully it will start soon, since we're pointing relatively prograde, but going away from it. I should actually check that the program is... there it is. I should have maybe had it point a little bit further south and just do east because of the point in the orbit. So a little bit of fuel is going to go into changing the inclination instead of just racing the perigee. But hopefully it has enough fuel, so let's see. Again, I'll come back when the burn finishes or something interesting happens. Hopefully the former. So I'm starting to get the feeling that it's not going to be enough fuel. We're still negative. Okay, maybe, hopefully. It's definitely going to be close. We're starting also to push up or apogee a bit too much. Fortunately, there's no like eccentricity requirement. And no, we got it. Yes, I had it to shut it down when it passed. Okay, so finally it was successful. And yeah, I did not include decoupling the stage. So hopefully that was enough to deorbit it. Yes, it is. Yeah, it has to check for stable orbit. But yeah, it's charging. It's going to. It doesn't have any net power draw. It will stay in a stable orbit, so we have our first communication satellite. It's a bit close, so it might not be the most useful one, but at least it's a start. So, well, yeah, this is going to give it to me in a minute. Then I'm going to make sure that that thing, the second stage, burns up, so that I don't have debris lingering around. And I'll come back in the Space Center to tell you about the next plan. Okay, so since thankfully there were no explosions during the launch, but a KSP video without explosions sometimes just feels a little off. Here's the breaking up of the second stage, though the fireworks lasted very little. Am I in time warp? No, it's okay. But yeah, contract complete. I'm not sure if the program made any money with that contract, since it took, what was it, 4 launches to get it. Well, no, definitely did, because the launches themselves are not that expensive. I think the rocket, like even with rollout costs and everything, was 10,000 maybe. I'm not sure. I should have paid attention. So there was some profit done, but it still took bloody ages, so yeah. But yeah, for some reason one tank heated up a lot faster than the other one. Also, I think I need to get there's a mod that simply unlocks the like plasma trail for re-entry heating. Apparently it's a file that, at least if I understand it correctly, it's a file that is already in the game, but it's just locked for some reason, maybe performance. So there's a mod that just unlocks it, and this creates a very long plasma trail like you see in re-entry videos of real spacecraft. So yeah, a few explosions, and I'll come back when I figure out what I'm going to do next. Okay, I'm back, and this is actually quite interesting. So these are the first, like the new contracts that came up. First, communication satellite, atmospheric analysis satellite. This one was already available. I did not do it because of the eccentricity requirements. I did not think I had that amount of control yet. I think for this one I want to get a new RCS ports, because getting a good control with just the one directional ones, it's a really big pain. And also first navigational satellite. What I saw, okay, so this one, I think this one is the hardest. I have 150 units of ComSat payload, and then minimum apogee of 4500 and perigee of 850. So yeah, high orbit. It would definitely have to be the full, like the GLaDOS rocket with all 4 boosters, I think. Also, inclination about 35 degrees. Then this one only needs to have like a temperature scanned and barometer scan. But then also the apogee and perigee are, like, if I meet the requirements in this one, I meet the requirements on this one, and there's no limits as far as eccentricity or like highest altitude. And this one unfortunately needs navsat payload, which I'm guessing it's going to be different than comsat payload. But also, yeah, so this one needs 45 degrees inclination minimum. Well, this one is 35 degrees. And just a minimum perigee of 300 kilometers. So none of the requirements conflict with each other with these three. I think the biggest problem is that I would need 250 units of satellite payload. I don't know how much it weighs, but I might actually try to get all of these in one launch. I'll see. But that will require a lot of planning, and I'm leaving for a week vacation, so probably won't be until the next episode. So yeah, this is going to be a short episode, I guess, after all the editing, but I'll just show you quickly the state of the research. Okay, so first I'll show you what I have queued up. So entry, descent, and landing, this is for the heat shields that, like I said, I was planning on using doing one mission to get all the film return camera pictures and hopefully do that all in one go. But now I think I can't do that. I'm torn between then going for early flight control, which gives me the first multi-directional RCS ports. It does take quite a while though. And then there's satellite era science, which more experiments, which, you know, more science, more points in the upgrades. How much is an upgrade point? So the payout for the last contract was 60,000. Yes, I'm going to get one. I mean, we're doing quite well in money, but I'm concerned about my ability to control the craft, especially once I try to hit the moon. That's going to be a bit hard. But now, you know what? Yeah, I'm just going to go for full on all the payout from that contract into research. And okay, it looks a little bit better. But yeah, so I think I'll go for science first. And well, actually, let's see. So this will be the satellite era science. Proofed field camera. Magnetometer. This one can be transmitted. I think this one can be transmitted as well. Can be transmitted, and this one can be transmitted as well. Okay, so there's quite a lot of science. I hope at least one of these is biome dependent. But yeah, I think it's better to do this and then get the RCS ports. Because yeah, I can just do one of the launches with this rocket without having to worry too much about control. Just put it in a polar orbit and get all the science out of it. But yeah, this is what I want. So I also have like the flight notes already queued up, but I keep postponing them because with this one, I think with this turbojet, I could I don't think I can pass the sound barrier with this one, but at least I might be able to get the 20-kilometer record. But yeah, aside from that, I really don't see a reason to focus on this for now. So yeah, I've been postponing and postponing. And the other thing is to unlock another node, I need at least 15 science. So hopefully I can get that with a new science node. Because I need to add upgrade points. That's basically my concern here. Because at this rate, I said I'm not going to focus too much on manned exploration, but I still want to do it, and to put like someone in space before 1961. Actually, no, human rated, but still not capsules. Wait, where are the capsules? Here. So here are the first capsules, for which I need also this. It's 31 science, I need this, and I need this. Yeah, this is not going to be done before 1961. Early human spaceflight material science. Also this, lovely. So yeah, I'm definitely going to fall behind history as far as manned exploration goes, but make it work. So anyway, I think that's enough about me rambling on about technology. Yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. That was a horrible outro.